They are the butt of a joke, and the lead-up, the preamble, and the punchline.
The boobs of the joke.
If you look at it as a graph, it's just one giant boob.
See, like, the ass end of the joke is also boobs, because...
That seems like a good tie-in to start the podcast. Awesome. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Weebin, episode 3.
Oh, are we recording right now?
Are we recording?
I'm your host, Entity. What's going on, everybody? Hey. You can introduce yourself? I was serious.
Fuck, okay. My name's Billy. What up?
I'm Dan.
Hey, I'm Josh.
And we're missing Ann. Okay.
Ann said that she was going to get a pack of cigarettes, and it's been like 3 days.
Yeah,
we haven't filed the police report yet because we're hoping she comes home, but probably if she's not home by like midnight tonight, we should probably get on that.
Wow.
If anybody has any like spare milk cartons so we can slap her picture on it, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
they still give
and
milk
if you're
cartons
listening to this,
to people now,
please come home. Weebin is a podcast where we talk about how stupid people are, and also a little bit about anime, I guess.
a wee bit.
Fuck you for that one.
that was all part of like my level of bad jokes.
God damn it. We're cutting all this out.
Sorry.
From the top.
Sorry to start off on a bad note.
Yeah. It's all a bad note. What
It's fantastic.
We're talking about anime. Of course.
It's fantastic. Are you kidding me? I love
all
it.
notes are bad notes in this show. So I guess we should just jump right into it. Hey Dan.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Patrick?
Not good, Dan. Not
Oh,
good.
boy. What's up?
Pretty hungover.
Why are you hungover?
Don't worry about it. Dan, what
were you doing last night, huh?
I was at a wedding.
Oh, nice. I was too.
Dude,
Yeah.
I saw a picture.
You guys got married?
Yeah, we got married.
Congratulations.
Dan, last we checked, you were kind of new to anime, but you were on the right track to becoming a full weeaboo.
Yes,
right track is a relative term.
I was
this
wondering
case.
if you could give us a little bit of an update on where you're at right now. What shows you watching? How far are you?
Well, I started Death Note.
All right.
I got 5 episodes in.
Okay.
And I'm loving it. I haven't had time to get more into it. I started with the dub, by the way.
Okay, yeah. That show had a good dub.
Yeah,
It did.
I like the voices.
Mhm.
You know, nothing's too annoying.
What do you think of the show so far? Give me your full review.
They are really good at suspense and making everything super extreme and like building up. Like at the end of every episode, there's some big climactic revelation. And what?
Sorry. You hit bang on the table.
Fuck
you.
off.
We're keeping that in just to spite you.
Fuck!
Okay. So, continue, please.
Well, like there's one caveat that Death God was. Oh shoot, I already forgot his name. I'm really bad at this.
Starts with an R?
Ryuk.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Ryuk. Yes. He's explaining this one.
Green Goblin. Yeah.
Yeah, Green Goblin.
Yeah.
From. God.
Willem Dafoe.
He's explaining one rule that like if you can see people's names if you exchange this other thing.
Oh
and all that
yeah,
stuff.
I remember
And
that.
it's this huge climactic revelation at the start of the next episode. It's like, oh yeah, whatever.
I
I'm not
believe
doing that. But it's fun that every episode is like that intense so far.
I believe the twist on that power was you could see their names like floating above their head like a HUD, but it cut your life in half, if I'm correct.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So like if you would have lived 80 years, it's down to 40, and if you would have lived 2 years, it's down to 1.
Yeah, I was trying to be vague about it, so in case people haven't seen the show, they wouldn't get...
This show's old. But
Well, I don't
Also,
know.
that's not too much of a spoiler.
no.
It's
Yeah,
still
because
pretty
I don't think
early
they
on.
do anything. Well,
Yeah.
where I'm at, they
Well,
don't do anything with it
So
yet.
far.
Foreshadowing.
Someone's
They've
on
already-
episode 3 and they're like, fuck, man.
Yeah, they're already setting
Give
up
that away from me.
Whole show's blown out of the water.
the mouse chase between Light and L.
It's fantastic.
That
Right.
show.
Yes, light now.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
gets
little confusing.
Yeah.
Especially when you get into, I think the third act. Because, well, shit just kind of hits the fan. The show is awesome. Two master tacticians.
That show is really good at drawing suspense in. So after episodes and episodes and episodes of building and building and building suspense, when shit does hit the fan, it really hits the fan hard and things spiral out of control quickly. So that, without giving too much away, that show does start to have a pretty heavy climax arc almost.
Yeah.
Of like 3 or 4 episodes of solid good.
Yeah.
Solid good.
Guys, can I cut in for a second to say that I forgot to intro the episode properly again? So this episode is entitled The Promised Neverland, because at the end of the episode, what we're going to be talking about is we watched the first 3 episodes of the anime The Promised Neverland.
The new one.
What is the Japanese name for that?
No fucking idea.
Got it. Okay. Normally you're pretty good at that.
On both the streaming sites that it's on, Hulu and Crunchyroll, it's just called Promised Neverland.
Yeah.
So I don't know the Japanese name for it. But we watched the first 3 episodes. We're going to discuss it. We're not going to do too many spoilers, although, you know, there's a big reveal at the end of episode 1. So
Yeah, but
if you don't want that spoiled, then watch it now and pause the podcast. But it's not too much of a spoiler.
So Dan,
it has introduced me to one of the bigger tropes of just how extreme little things can be in anime. Like how everything's so exaggerated and hyperbolic.
Oh, big time.
Hyperbolic.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
However you pronounce that word. But
we're thinking of maybe having a whole episode based on that in the future at some point. Deep future.
And I think that's funny, and
I think we'll make
it's a fun
episode 5.
It's a fun feature. But I was watching it with somebody who was like, yeah, it's kind of over the top sometimes. Like, I think that's just anime.
Yeah,
I think that's just how it
Take
goes.
it up with Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell
Everyone's
you.
yelling.
But they're very
I'm used
peaceful
to it.
people. You know.
Dan, I would like to ask you, do you feel sucked in? Because I've had personal experiences where, like, I've got, like, a final the next day, and I'm staying up all night because that's just how I study. And, like, I'll start an episode of an anime, and that was, like, the biggest decision, the, like, worst decision of my entire life. Because all of a sudden, I'm finishing that show that night, like, I can't fucking stop watching. And Death Note was one of those ones where it led me by the nose for a long time. Like, I couldn't once I got sucked into it, I couldn't get out until I got towards the end.
Failed the exam.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm totally invested. I haven't wasted away other life opportunities to finish the show yet.
Okay.
My life just
So you're invested, but you
like
haven't
that
been
right now.
you haven't been locked in to the anime downward spiral yet.
No, but I mean, my life has been impacted,
All right. Well, we'll get you there.
and it's slowly getting ruined more and more.
So impacted, not yet ruined.
You're right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I'm almost there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
We've all been there.
So this I guess we'll just roll into the next segment then, considering how we're talking about you and your newbiness.
Mm-hmm.
This next segment's a little bit about newbie talk and about how to talk to people who aren't really fully into anime yet, and they might not know all the hip lingo and all that.
Yeah, you throw around a lot of vocab that I have no idea what you
All right.
guys mean.
So let's talk about the first one I'd like to discuss is a word that I know and love, and you love it
Near
too.
and dear to our hearts.
It's called harem.
Oh, I thought you were going with something else.
Were you thinking
Also-
of hentai?
No.
I know what
Because
hentai
that's
is.
near and dear.
But-
But
Oh, yeah.
That's very-
Oh, trust me,
no.
I know what anti.
yeah, okay.
I think that is also near and dear to my heart.
Okay, you can go next. But the first term
All right.
I'd like to discuss is harem. Going off, coming in cold, what do you think it is?
What do I think harem is? Oh gosh. Is it something sexual?
It can be, but usually it's
I'm guessing
not.
everything's gonna be
vaguely.
sexual.
Usually it's not at all sexual, but it can be paired with sexuality, which is a whole different term.
Wait, is it when there's a very feminine looking guy?
No.
That's a different term.
No.
Okay.
Harem, essentially what that means is that there will be one man in the show, and through so many different ways, most of the time he doesn't want them there, but he just acquires more and more women, and they end up like living at his house or something. And there is, at the same time, on the other end of the spectrum, there's a reverse harem where it'll be one girl and she is just entrapped in a circle of dudes.
So the harem is the person getting trapped within a circle?
Yeah, it's like having a
Well,
harem.
no, it's not the
or the-
character. It's the situation of
that is a
a
harem.
bunch of girls and one dude.
Think of The
and they're
Bachelor.
all in love with him for no reason.
Yes, that's a very good example.
The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Those are
shows.
harems.
Yeah, those are American harems.
Cool.
One show that
Yeah, I haven't come across
So
that
don't
trope
judge
yet.
me, Mom.
one show that I like to think of for harem is the one that got me into anime is Ouran High School Host Club, which we've talked about
Really
before on
good
a different episode. But that's actually a reverse harem of a person that originally they think is a guy, and then she's like, "No, I'm a girl." And so she's just at this point surrounded by dudes for various reasons because they're all going to the same school.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just hilarious hijinks of all of the ensuing calamity that happens with that. So
All right. Well, now I'm dumber.
So that's your first vocabulary. Patrick, would you like to go with the next one?
Let's see. What do we got?
Trap is what I was talking about, right?
Yeah, trap.
You were thinking of trap.
I was thinking about talking about that one.
Okay.
So, let's get into what a trap is.
So what do you think a trap is, first of all?
That's where. Wait, can it be? Are there like reverse traps too, or is it just when a character is drawn so much like one gender but is actually the other?
He's a guy.
Surprise.
Like there was one in One Punch Man where it's like, wait, hold on.
Oh, I know
That's
who you're
it.
talking about. The ninja dude?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was like,
I think
Sonic.
that's confirmed a dude.
Wait,
Okay.
which one?
The
Speed of Sound Sonic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
Pretty
you
sure.
guys thought it was a girl?
The way he is drawn, it can lead you to believe, is that a
But
girl that's
he sounds
actually
like
a guy?
this.
Is it a guy that's actually a girl? But then you hear his voice, and they do
Yeah.
say a couple times, like, he is insane. So I'm pretty sure that's a guy on that one.
That
Plus,
is-
Sonic the character, the Hedgehog, is a guy. So, you know.
what?
I don't think there's any girl.
But there's Speed of Sound Sonic, Sonic the Hedgehog.
I don't think they were thinking about
Oh
that.
shit.
For the entirety of the first season, I thought his villain name was Sound of Speed Sonic. I was like, that is so dumb.
Sounds fucking
And then I
stupid.
realized that I was the dumb one again. But so the interesting thing about traps, and we will talk about them in the future,
I'm
it
scared.
will be an ongoing discussion, is that sometimes they aren't even necessarily human. Like, it'll be a cat girl, and based on all of these feline tendencies, you assume that it's a girl, and then they're like, oh no, she has a dick. And that happened in Sword Art, didn't it? Didn't they have a trap character in that show? There was one of those Strange New World shows.
ReZero.
ReZero, that was it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of the Strange
Felix,
New World
I think
shows.
His name was.
Mm.
It's like, what? That's
Wait, who was he?
a guy?
Felix was the cat character.
Oh.
You don't know who that is.
Felix.
But-
Fuck you, Josh. Dan,
Yes.
I have a very important question for you.
Okay.
Are traps gay?
No. Yes. No. No. Maybe. I don't know.
I think you said the correct answer more than the
Maybe?
false answer.
Or yes.
no.
Oh,
No.
no.
Traps are not gay. Mom.
Here at Weebin, we're all inclusive.
We're-
And traps are-
Everybody likes
Is
traps.
this really the point of this bit? Just so
Some-
you can prove to your mom that?
Yes.
I just really
Yes, it
hope
is.
she doesn't listen to this.
Okay, so
And Google what a trap is.
probably the last word. We might do one more. One of the words that we want to discuss next is the term ichi or ecchi, however you
it's
pronounce
etchy.
it.
It's not fucking. Just because Cody said, I'm sorry.
No, keep going. I
No,
love
just
rants.
because stupid Cody said it doesn't mean that that's how you pronounce it. Everything that man said was wrong.
So going in, what do you think if someone threw out the term
context.
ichi? What do you think it is with no context? We kind of gave it away a little bit before we
Did you
started
say
recording.
it again?
Hmm?
Did you say Ichi again?
Probably. Go on.
I'm gonna punch you in the nuts.
Is it etchy or ichi?
It's etchy.
Etchy. Okay, so
Like
etchy.
etchy sketchy.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's sexual.
It is.
Oh, what a good guess!
But
Jeez, Dan.
it's not
Throwing it
entirely sexual. The basis of ecchi is that sexuality and perversion can be the butt of a joke. So, for instance, when one character will slam into another character because they ran around a corner really quick and they fall, and the male character just kind of lands full force onto the boob. And there's like a quick grope.
Yeah.
And like that's weird because it's his sister or whatever the context could be.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a boob in there and it doesn't have to be a full open boob in there. Essentially it's just that it can be used as a joke to continue the story. And also the interesting of it is that there could be bare breasts in a show and it doesn't have to be perverted at all. It probably is taken as perversion, but it's not like it's not hentai at that point. It's just like a quick joke. She was running and she's in a towel, and so that's essentially what ecchi is. And
So it's just like sexualized jokes.
yeah, pretty much. And it gets paired up a lot with the harem genre. There's a lot of ecchi harems where, one guy is stuck in a house filled with women and all of a sudden things get hot
They
and
all
heavy.
want to bone him for no reason.
And he is
Right,
trying as
well,
hard as
And
possible
he is
to
just
retain
like
his
an
virginity.
empty vessel of a person.
Yeah.
No personality whatsoever. They're like, I like how there's nothing going for him.
He's just got no character to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of the times
I
when
can imprint myself on him.
the interesting thing about ecchi harems is
Maybe projecting.
either
I was just gonna say.
either the character is surrounded by women and wants to bang any and all of them, and none of them want to be with him, or they all want to bang him, and he is trying so hard to keep his virginity intact. And it is just a daily struggle. An example of that one would be something like Monster Musume, where they all want to marry him, and he is just not having it.
Yeah.
This is like a tried and true story arc.
Oh,
It's
it's
a setup for a lot of
heavily
shows.
used anime trope where they're just like, and also now
God
Here's the
bless
man.
Japan.
introduce a new female character. She's different in some way, normally like by breast size, and
Or hair color, Billy.
they're always different in hair color. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but essentially, it's just a new way to give a little flavor to the show by having a new trope in there.
So do they always come in like story arcs, or are they the basis of like shows themselves?
Typically, as a show develops, it'll be guy meets girl, guy meets second girl within the first 3 episodes to show like this is a harem show, and it'll be them fighting over him or something like that. And then every like 3 or 4 episodes, they'll introduce a new girl. That's at least what I've seen from my vast amount of
This all sounds like
harems that I've watched.
This all sounds like some third tier shit. Part of
Oh,
Oh,
it's deep in the
It's
third tier.
4th tier.
It's beyond the third tier.
What?
Yeah.
The
For
forbidden
some
fourth.
people, like our friend, it was first tier.
No,
That's how we introduced him and ruined him.
a lot of people get scared away from anime because when you're hot and heavy in the anime, the thing about ecchi harems is they're really funny most of the times, and so you're like, I need to share this with people. And so then you show a new person who's new to anime, you show them your most favorite sexualized hot and heavy show that just is all over the place, and they are never coming back because they've been scarred away from it. And then you've got a couple friends who, like, they're perverts, and you're like, this will get them into anime. Watch this. Watch these boobs jiggle. And it gets them in there. For the one show that our buddy got hooked on was, what's it called?
Heaven's Lost Property.
Heaven's Lost Property.
Great show. I've watched it 3 times.
It's
Because I
about...
was introducing other people to it.
Mhm. Essentially, it's about a character who...
He's a giant pervert.
Yeah, and he just wants to get laid so hard, and eventually an angel falls from the sky, and since he goes to, like, rescue her, after she smashes into the ground with enough force to, like, wipe out the dinosaurs, he goes to... he goes to pick her up out of the dirt, and she imprints onto him like a little duckling. And so she's like, you are my master, Also, I can grant wishes.
And I have large breasts.
That is the plot twist. The plot twist is she's got huge gazongos. But so, pretty much right away, he's just like, you're so scantily clad, I don't know what to do. And she's just like, oh, you want me to have less clothes? And so she starts taking off her clothes. And he's like, no, 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 because, you know, he's an anime guy. He can't commit to what he actually wants.
Mm-hmm.
But so, as the show goes on, more angels start falling. And there's infighting between them. And they all want to be Master's favorite. And it is just a good old time.
Senpai.
Yeah, there's a lot of senpais and oni-chans. And...
What's senpai?
Oh, that's a good one we could talk
Oh,
about.
boy.
Yeah. Well, senpai is just like someone who's older than you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Senpai is like teacher.
It's a term of respect.
A term of respect, not necessarily. I was gonna say term of endearment. It's not a term of endearment. It's a term of respect, like you said. It's more of like, you are my teacher, kind of. It's a little bit different than sensei. Sensei is like, you are my actual teacher, but senpai is like, you are someone whom I look up to and want to pass on your knowledge to me.
Because there could just be like a year gap between them.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Still
I thought it
call
was
each other
sexual
senpai.
again.
Another thing.
It can be.
It can be.
Just like
Yeah.
every other term.
Yeah. If
maybe
it's sexual, they're
okay.
passing something along.
I can see why a lot of people live out some crazy fantasies through
There's two
anime.
eyes.
And secondly, I thank you all for not having these shows be the first ones I watch.
No,
Yeah.
I've seen
Got two
enough
eyes.
people be scared away, because when we originally tried to show, I think it was Ricky, when we originally tried to show him, the first thing they showed him was Monster Musume, which is way into the astral projections of like 5th and 6th tier anime. Like, that's for when you're bored of normal perversion and you need to mix it up with something scary.
Pornhub just isn't doing it.
There,
Drugs aren't doing it for you.
you know, that is about the point where tentacles start to come in.
Yeah.
But again, it's tentacles to be funny. It's not just raw dog and tentacles. It's tentacles.
Tentacles with protection.
It's all for comedy. And
Should we put a disclaimer in this episode as like 18 plus?
we should probably put that in all our episodes. Yeah, I think like the first word
we've been
I said
marking an
was the
explicit
F word.
content.
This
Yeah,
episode.
I think.
Yeah, it's been marked
Safe
as
for
explicit
children.
content.
I mean, like, we're gonna intro this, and you guys were talking about like tentacles and assholes. So I'm pretty sure.
Still get the idea already.
Why were they peeing on each other?
Because the first episode we recorded, we were like being good little boys, and then in the second episode, we were like, oh hey, let's be crazy, whatever, and now we're just like, you guys want to talk about porn?
I feel like that's the natural progression.
Yeah.
Like, where do we go from here?
Well, the first stage, we were in Anne's cookbook list. We were in the first tier, and we were just trying to be, like, you know, relatable, but not fully anime. Then we were like, okay, let's get into popular stuff. Now we're in the deep water.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Well, one thing really quickly, Dan, since we're still on Newbie Talk, since you've watched one show and just started another, how would you describe anime tropes to someone? If someone were to come up to you and be like, so I know you're new to anime.
what is a trope?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
More or less, like, how would
I describe some of the tropes and like
some of the ones that you've experienced
how
so
I could
far.
justify them?
Yeah, sure.
If you're able to justify them, by all means, like,
Then stop
like,
watching anime.
I
You're
know
not
that
too far.
I know that she's a dude, but
Yeah, I feel
not
like
gay.
everything has to be handled with a butt.
Look, she may be 14,
but
look at those gazongas.
But in the story, she's actually like 850. She's full as- Dude, I don't know. That'd be tough. So, like, as a noob, how would I introduce another noob or explain these tropes to an outsider?
Yeah. Not really introduce, just explain them from your new perspective.
Yeah, it's probably not for you.
if someone
If I have to explain it,
if someone comes up to you and they say like, I'm thinking of trying anime, you're probably gonna be like, nah, like, don't do it.
I know you. It's not. No.
Yeah.
Well,
for me,
no.
like, what I think you should do is just have people just go in blind and not warn them of anything.
See, that's when you get scared off, though, and I feel like one of our biggest focuses on
yeah.
this show is trying to like show the really fun side of anime, but we also have to reel back in the people who definitely got scared away. That's a major focus of mine.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother realm, all right? It's a whole nother form of entertainment as far as like a cultural...
It's not The Simpsons, basically.
Yeah, no, it's like, just think about it. Disregard all your notions of American culture going into it. All right, so all these things that are taboo in American culture, just forget about it and don't get offended. And that's, you know...
What could offend me?
Jiggling boobs all the time.
Gosh.
Or just
How dare
eating
you,
a
Dan?
nice piece of meat and then all of a sudden your clothes just get blown
All of
off.
a sudden, you're eating ass instead.
For relevance, just before the show, I showed these two a clip of a show they've never seen before called Shokugeki no Soma, or Food Wars for the layman.
Which was hysterical.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We'll talk about it in the future. But
Yeah. So just go into it with an open mind.
one last...
Don't take things too seriously and just laugh.
Sometimes you have to take a step back from the show and think just like, oh, well, this is just Japan. Like, you just gotta...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't, get rid of your ideas of American culture going into it, because it's not from America.
Yeah.
One of my friends who doesn't watch anime has a roommate who watches anime, and he would watch it on like the living room TV, and he was
Bad move.
Like sometimes,
Dangerous.
sometimes my friend would watch with him, and apparently Shokugeki no Soma came up, and he was like, "Dude, I was watching this one where like it's all about food, but then like everyone gets naked and it's weird," and I'm like, "Yep, I know the one."
I know exactly what you're talking about.
You went too far too quickly, my dude.
You jumped into the third tier. One other thing I'd like to... One last newbie term, because you're going to hear it. Sometimes, often they come together. There's the term oni, which means brother, essentially. And
Oni-chan.
chan. Together they make oni-chan.
Okay.
Chan is something you can essentially put at the end of somebody's name to... You can shorten their name and call them Chan at the end, and then it essentially...
It's an honor. It's called an honorific.
It brings you into like almost like if you were speaking to like a family member, or like baby talk also almost.
Yeah,
Like,
depending on like who you're talking to.
it can take you from like a formal way to say their name to a much more close.
Yeah, like you're a lot more intimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in Japan,
Familial.
you refer to people that you don't really know that well by their last name.
And
And
I
then
believe you put
sometimes-
san at the end of it if it's formal.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
something that was, if their full name was Hayato and it was business, then you would say like Hayato-san. And then if you wanted to, if you started dating this person, or you were viewing them as like a childish younger brother, like a kid sister kind of relationship, then you could change Hayato-san to like Hayo-chan or something like that. And you just cut off their name to whatever you want to call it and call it Chan. And it's,
There's also Kun, Kun. Don't know what that means. Josh, do you know?
Kun is more, from what I know, and I'm not Japanese, believe it or not.
Cambodian
You
fuck.
know?
Hey, fuck you! Just because I'm like,
Whoa!
fucking,
No racism on my podcast.
yours!
I'm a fucking Asian hick, man. We're the hicks of Asia.
Jesus
but
Christ.
Kun,
You can say that, he's Cambodian.
Yeah,
Oh, sure, yeah.
Kun from what I
So
know.
like our little water
Shut
chestnut.
the fuck up and let me talk. Kun is usually used for girls to guys, and Chan is usually used from guys to girls. They basically mean more or less the same thing. So if you had like kind of a crush on a girl, you would call her like, I don't fucking know, Sakura-chan or some shit like that.
Saka-chan.
Yes, Sak-chan.
Saka-chan.
Saka-chan.
Saka-chan. But so then, yeah, for the opposite, if it was a girl into a guy, they'd call her like Ryoto-kun or something.
Yeah.
I'm misappropriating all those words.
Misappropriating.
That should be a new word now.
As
Misappropriating.
As
That's
if
awesome.
There's a good way to appropriate.
Yeah, like tacos and stuff. And Taco Bell. Ours is just bad.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
God.
But you were talking about Oni-chan?
Oni-chan, because I was just bringing in more words that he's likely to hear in the future. Because as
yeah.
characters develop a relationship with the other characters, then they will... Oh, this is actually a good list. I've never heard Bo before. But so they will start to develop their names for their own purposes. And yeah, it's called honorific. And there's formal honorifics and informal honorifics of how you would say their name. So Chan...
reading this as he goes.
Tyler, my main man Tyler, brought up a little list. You can essentially use Chan for males, females, or children. It's all based on pretext. Kun is basically the equivalent of Chan, but used mostly for kids and between peers and friends.
And
I've
males,
never heard of this one
says
before.
male.
Yeah, sure.
Which one?
Bo is a more cutesy than Chan and Kun. So
I've heard that once.
So wait, does that mean that bo is like it's like a machine gun of cutesy phrases?
Can I start calling you Josh Bo?
If you do,
Josh
I
Bo.
can't. Oh boy,
Jobo.
Jobo.
The Adventures of
Was that a
JoJo Bo.
JoJo reference?
Oh man, we gotta make that a character for you.
Character. Jeez. Okay. Do you guys have any other terms that you're going to be throwing at Dan?
Let me process all this and
Okay.
integrate it into my
Into your daily language.
and then you can throw more at me.
All right. So reeling it back
You
in.
gotta
just a
start calling your
little bit.
parents Baka whenever possible.
Baka.
Wait, did I miss Baka? What's Baka?
It just means
you
dumb,
don't know?
stupid.
That makes you a
Like
baka
idiot.
for not knowing.
Baka.
It basically means like idiot. It's like
Baka.
pendejo, kind of.
Oh, okay.
But Japanese has this weird thing going on where sometimes something can be like approval or disapproval at the same time. So they can be like, baka. And it means like, you stupid. But like they like it. Or it could
Gotcha.
mean like, you're a fucking idiot. Baka. And then they karate chop you and you get like a big lump on your head. So...
Just as in any other language.
Patrick, if we're going to talk about anything else, Patchy-kun, there's the thing where it's yandere and the other term.
Tsundere.
I can never keep them straight. Can you explain them in a way that helps me and Dan?
Yandere is a character that is so in love with another character that they will literally kill someone just to make sure that they stay together.
Okay, so that's Phone Wars, whatever that show was.
What?
Sounds fake.
Continue.
What the fuck are you talking about? I want to get into this.
That show where the kid's like obsessed with darts and they got like it's a battle royale of like people with their cell phones.
Oh, yeah. It's from
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah, Phone Wars.
Fucking, I swear to God.
I'll come up with a name. Don't worry. Just keep going for now.
And then tsundere is someone who will like cover up their true emotions with like angry outbursts. Like it's not like I didn't do this because I like you or anything.
Okay.
I just did it because it was convenient.
So the non-anime
Sounds like me.
viewers, this is Olga from Hey Arnold.
Gotcha.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And then the other one I don't think has a Western equivalent except for like Norman Bates or something like a real fucking
Norman
stalker. Like, but
A psychopath.
yeah.
Yeah. There's also kudere, which is like that character in Hentai OG.
Now you're just fucking making up words.
Yeah. No, there's a ton of them, dude. Japan's
You say
all over the
Hentai
place.
OG.
Yeah, Hentai OG. We talked about this in a previous episode. Don't make me rehash
Yeah,
it.
it was the one where I was talking on my ass for like 5 minutes.
Oh, right,
Stony
right,
Cat.
right. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that. That was funny.
Well,
Alright.
I mean, I don't know if that character was a true this trope, but it's just basically someone who's very just non-emotional at all.
Dead
so-
inside.
Yeah, dead inside.
How do you feel now, Dan?
Fucking-
Now that we've
Kind
kind of blown the cover off.
Has to start with an
It's
I know it does all. 11 exciting.
Future Diaries.
Future Diary. There it is.
Yes.
Fuck. Okay.
nice cell phone drop.
congratulations.
Ruin.
Son of a bitch.
We're cutting all this out.
All right. Anywho, I
kill
think
you.
that was enough studying. Are
That's
you ready
enough
for the
anime for
Are you
one
ready
day.
for the vocab test?
Yeah, I'm ready for the vocab test.
Are
Okay.
you ready for
Are
the
we
oral
doing
exam?
Are there tentacles?
All right.
Open wide. Okay, reeling it back in just for a second. Our next segment is a little bit.
Wait, are we actually going to do the vocab test? Or was
No.
it a joke? Okay, that's a joke.
Yeah.
Next episode.
Yeah,
We'll see what
next
he
episode.
thinks.
Oh no, I've already got the quiz written up and
All right.
everything. Yeah, you know.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're throwing some new ones at you.
Right.
Well, I think today was a good lesson. Learned a
do a
lot.
review. We'll do a review.
My soul died a little bit more, but
I think your brain replaced useful information for anime information, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
Sorry, geography. I know it now. Like,
I couldn't
Sorry,
remember.
War of 1812 or whatever.
yeah.
When was that?
Shit, I don't know, dude.
Okay, so now we're moving on to the next segment. It's celebrity and anime. I did some quick research, and some of this is old news for people who are super familiar with the current state of certain celebrities and how into the anime they are. But for people who aren't super into the I guess latest celebrity gossip, which is already like 10 years old or something, this may be news to some people. So I've just got some facts about specific celebrities
Who are total weeaboos?
can I take a guess at some who are?
Oh,
At
yeah.
some-
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
give us 3 names you think they're obsessed with anime.
Oh, obsessed? Ooh.
Or hate it. They just have a strong opinion of it.
I only looked up the ones who like anime a lot.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you would have put this on there, but I have a guess.
okay. Give me your guesses. Let's start with Dan.
Elon Musk.
Of course.
That was my
He
guess.
changed his Twitter profile picture to Eric from Full Metal.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he got the
Elric,
nickname.
dude,
You mean
he's
I don't know if
Elric,
he's
or
constantly
is it Eric or Elric?
tweeting
That's the
about
last
anime.
Yeah, okay, so...
Dude is off the
think
fucking
it
rails.
is
Dude, I love Elon.
I love him so
That's
much.
what just happens when you
Apparently
have
he's a monster.
the
but
billions of
he's
dollars.
so he's
Hey,
funny.
he's the monster we need. He put a
Yeah.
fucking car in space.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good with him.
He played David Bowie as
He
it
could
blasted
kill
off into
someone
space.
tonight. I'd still vote for him. Like, as governor or
vote
something.
for him. What?
He did get the
He's not
nickname
running for
Elon
anything.
Chan.
You know,
Elon
I told my dad
Yeah, I
that he
like that.
launched a car into space with like a astronaut like at the wheel and shit, like a mannequin.
Yeah.
And my dad immediately, the first thing he said is like, "That man's gonna be president someday." And immediately I was like, "I vote for him." Like,
Yeah.
immediately I would.
You know, also, for... in Hollywood, Olivia Munn.
I didn't find her on any
I
lists
can
that
see it.
we can quickly Google that.
Or Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, let's Google who is that.
I could also see that, too.
I could see
Olivia
Jennifer
Munn.
Lawrence.
Jennifer
Neither of-
Lawrence. I could see it. I could also see her hating it though, being like, "Anime's dumb."
Anybody's stupid.
I don't
Anyways,
like
don't
video
my boyfriend.
games or anime or
So my
My
first
dad.
one.
Paul
is that-
Rudd.
Paul Rudd, I feel.
I could totally see
okay.
Paul Rudd liking anime.
No, yeah, I can see him watching One Punch Man tonight. Like,
Yeah. You guys have any guesses?
yeah.
I have one, but when we were thinking of this segment, this is one I included, so it's definitely on there. Samuel L. Jackson,
He does.
I know, came
Really?
out in an interview saying that he loves anime, and then he included hentai too. And I was like, my man.
Nice.
Samuel L. Jackson has actually voiced a couple people in it.
He was in Afro
Yeah.
Samurai.
Yeah, which is a great show if you're like, just into
Action.
just a good show.
Yeah.
Like,
If you have good taste, yeah.
if you want to
Wow.
watch
Fucking
like
plebeians.
We're elitist here.
a cool sword fighting anime, and then also just have Samuel L. Jackson in the background, like motherfucker, and like then this is the show for you. And I don't think I've ever heard the Japanese sub of it. I don't need to, because that dub is just
Yeah.
it's got Samuel L. Jackson in there.
Which that leads me to my first question for the group. Who produced the soundtrack for Afro Samurai? Was it the RZA, Jizza, or Ghostface Killer?
Jesus.
RZA.
I would guess RZA too,
Yeah.
honestly.
I don't even
Totally
know what any
RZA.
of those
Those are
words
Wu-Tang
mean.
characters.
From the Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang
members.
characters.
Yeah.
Characters. I love it.
It's a persona.
The answer is Ruler Zigzag Allah, also known as the RZA.
Hey!
Yeah.
Boom.
He also voiced a character named Shakespeare in the French anime Motherfuckers.
Wait, is that his character name or the show?
The show is called MFKZ, so Motherfuckers.
Alright, I know what we're watching next week.
It's a French anime movie, and I watched the
we're
trailer.
totally
It looks
watching
fucking awesome. I have no idea what it is. Yeah. Yeah, it looks awesome. So that also leads me into my next question. How do you guys have you ever noticed the connection between hip hop and anime? Like
definitely.
Yeah, like
Yeah, what was that one show we were watching that had that really weird hip hop just in the middle of it? Was it Grimgar?
Grimgar did that at
There
one
was,
point.
like,
They
2
did
minutes
have
of
just
this
like
weird...
yeah, in the middle of like a very like a climactic scene. All of a sudden there was just like this rap music, like an AMV rap video in the middle of it.
Yo, that would
we
be
were laughing
that
so
sounds
hard.
awesome.
good original anime. I don't know if it's out there, but anime based on battle raps.
Battle raps.
that could be rad.
That probably does
Yeah.
exist though. Wait a minute, there's that that new zombie show where they form like a rap group, don't they?
Oh yeah, I couldn't get past the first episode.
No, I'm talking
Is
about
that
can't remember
underground rap battles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somebody
me-
going through the ranks. And
So like B Rabbity as
Dude,
an
you're
anime
talking
character
about-
in 8 Mile.
Did you say B Rabbity?
B Rabbit.
Okay, B Rabbit. Yeah.
You're
So you mean
Like put
like
an E on the end.
it would be like based in the late 70s, early 80s, and
Dude,
like,
you're talking
did
about
they-
Parappa the Rapper.
Shit. Well,
That'd be
fuck it.
super cool. Like
Greatest
turntable battles, like MCs going up against each other.
Well, yeah, and it could just it would play so much into the how extreme anime can
Yeah!
be. Like, just
No,
totally
someone at the very end
go
they'd
crazy
like
with
drop
this.
the mic and it would just like explode on the ground. People are like
Yeah.
blown back. They're blown out of the building.
That'd be sweet. Holy shit.
Yeah, you could definitely elaborate and take some artistic liberties with that shit.
Rad. And like all the characters already there, like Grandmaster Flash and like
Yeah.
all
Dude,
these dudes.
yes.
Oh my
Samuel L.
God.
Jackson could be voicing people. Reza and Geza could be voicing people. Like, also, like you could see like speakers bumping and like someone's like bleeding out of their eyes. Like there is so much room for anime improvement in that.
Yes, there is. All right.
Holy
Oh, here
shit,
it
we
is.
need to patent this idea now. What show is this?
What do you do?
Grimgar.
That was it. It wasn't like rap. It was just a beatboxing segment
It's
that they
really
just
weird.
had in there. Yeah.
Okay, so that's interesting. I never heard of that
Grimgar for reference is one of those Strange New World, which is a term that I believe that I have coined and I'm keeping it. Fuck you, anyone else who's calling it that. But anytime when somebody gets teleported to like an unfamiliar fantasy setting, I call it Strange New World. Hey newbie,
yeah.
Strange New World. That's what I'm talking about. Anytime.
Wait, what?
So
As of now?
Strange New World. Wait, what is Strange New World?
Strange New World
Is that an anime?
No, it's a term that I've coined for
You haven't
anytime.
coined it.
I'm coining it right now.
It's an isekai.
Is that a word?
Oh,
the
you were talking
isekais.
about that when we tried to watch the
That
Isekai
one
Quartet.
that Billy suggested that was a stupid idea.
yeah, because you had to watch like 5 other shows.
Wait,
to
Dungeon?
get it.
The Dungeon?
No,
one?
the chibi one about the fucking
The crossover anime.
crossover.
Oh, well, I assume we had watched those because they're fucking
How
amazing
can you
shows.
assume that?
And
They
I
haven't
haven't
seen
shit.
2 things.
Anywho, strange new word, coining it right now on this nickel.
Strange new word.
Strange new world. Basically,
You're
it
gonna have to
means
cut
that...
so much.
Okay, anywho. Strange New World, coining it. It basically means any show where a main character has been suddenly teleported to a fantasy realm of some form, or just a different realm.
That sounds exactly like how.
Yeah, but
Patrick
that's what
defined
I'm
isekai.
calling it in America land. In American language, English, that's what I'm calling it.
Billy, I
The
think
language of
I
the free.
have finally achieved enough anime knowledge where I can
Call you
confidently tell you that you're
Wrong.
fucking idiot. See? I'm telling you, it takes so long to finally call Billy on his bullshit. But once you do,
I mean,
hilarious.
he's a pro bullshitter.
he's
It's
really
commendable.
I can bullshit with the best of them.
Yeah.
How do you think I got to co-host of a podcast? Like, because I can spin my yarn.
What would have been better is if you came up with a bullshit story right there. How do you think I hosted American Idol all those times? Wait, did he? I'm Googling that.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute!
Got him.
He was bullshitting again!
Alright, anyway, what were we talking about?
Another
I don't know. We're just
another
keep going
huge-
on tangents.
This is fine. This is
How much
exactly
That's the
bullshit could a
podcast.
bullshitter shit if
Give a
a
bullshit
bullshit
could
could
shit
shit
shit.
balls?
Oh.
Wait. Are they shitting shit or balls?
Probably,
Figure it out.
Probably 3 shits, 2 bulls.
Okay. And then secondly,
I believe you.
how many mothers could a motherfucker fuck if a motherfucker could fuck mothers?
A motherfucker can fuck mothers.
Well, he just have to fuck one to be a motherfucker. This is dark. Anyway.
It's not that.
Anyway.
Well, it's obscene. Anywho.
Anyway, another hip hop
I-
artist.
I just want to
that-
watch motherfuckers.
One other person that
Pronounce
Jesus.
motherfuckers.
Speaking of motherfuckers, Kanye West really loves anime.
I've heard
Oh,
that.
yeah.
A direct quote from his Twitter feed is, "No way Spirited Away is better than Akira. No way." Sorry, was just looking at a YouTube of top 10 anime films, which
See,
I'd agree with him.
It also
Akira
sounds like
is-
a Trump.
He's
no way.
No way.
He is absolutely mentally ill enough to be on our side for anime. 150 fucking %.
Ain't that the truth?
It's a liposuction, man.
All right. Who else?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Really?
And I have a true false for you.
I bet he watches those like pretentious animes that are like
He didn't
these are art
specifically.
only.
Yeah,
Oh,
he didn't
well,
specifically.
I do like
say in the
me
stuff
some
I found.
artsy anime, but
No, I do too, but I don't know if he could like throw down with fucking Kill a Kill.
my
like,
favorite
Yeah.
anime is Garden of Words because of the rain droplets and how they represent.
All right, so true or false? Leo has been working to produce an Akira live-action movie for the past 10 years. Akira is a movie from 1988. It put anime on the map in the states. It was amazing.
10 years.
Now, before we answer, why would this be a question if it was false?
Well, see, I could see it being a trick question because I could believe that, but 10 years is a long time.
No, I think the
like,
trick question is how many years.
Yeah,
I think he's trying to fuck with us.
because like if you
It was
is
only
he,
7.
is he, well, like is he drawing it himself? Like how's it taking this long? It's in a flip book. Like,
No, but he's making a live action.
oh yeah.
Why would he have to try it?
Why is it taking 10 years? What is he
Shit,
waiting
Patrick
for?
just pulled the rug right
Is he
from under your
like
joke.
James Cameron waiting for fucking the technology to improve? Like,
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna go false.
I'm gonna go true.
I'm gonna go. Why make a live action anime?
Yeah,
You know, that's
what I
a
was wondering,
that's a
too.
good answer. But
it is true. His production studio started production 2008.
Fuck off.
you should link
That's
up with
11
like,
years, you fucking idiot.
Whatever.
This fact is old.
And they
just-
just started filming this past month at
Oh,
the
so it's
beginning of
happening?
April. Apparently, it's happening.
You know who would be a good American director to like throw together a live action anime?
Russo
The guy
brothers.
who made I was gonna say Oats Studios.
Yeah,
The dude
yeah.
who made like District 9 and all that. Like
Neil Blomkamp.
Yeah, Blomkamp. Is it
Blomkamp.
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 Okay, yeah.
Spelled with 2 L's. Or Neil is spelled with 2 L's.
I like what he does.
Fucking- What is he Australian or?
I think
African,
he
South-
was born. Yeah, he was born in Africa. I don't remember exactly where.
Hey, if
It's
he's
like
not born
Elon
in
Musk.
Japan, we don't talk about him on this podcast.
True. All right. Next.
That's right.
Japan only.
Last one actually is John Cena. Yeah. Yeah. His favorite anime is Fist of the North Star, and on a
Isn't that a League of Legends character or something like that?
I don't fucking know. John
Okay,
Cena?
I'm thinking
John
it'd be
Yeah, John Cena's in it.
He
if that's
spawns
what you're
in.
asking.
it'd be a convoluted way to get back to that. Anywho, continue.
He loves Fist of the North Star, another old anime film. And a direct
Pretentious.
quote is superheroes fighting Super Lee style stuff. He really loves that. He watched it when he was when he was like 14 or something like that. So those are some of the celebrities.
Now we didn't. We might have glazed over this, but were you telling me that Elon Musk has active plans to build a mech fighter robot or something like that?
Apparently, I don't know
Because
the exact
I've
facts
heard
on
the
that.
rumors that like America and Japan, like somebody was thinking about doing it for like the last 20 years. I can remember like there being like, oh, they're gonna do it, but like it never happened.
Godzilla hasn't showed up yet, so there's no need for it right now.
They brought BattleBots back, so like at least that's a step in the right direction before we get mechs.
RC mechs.
Did you guys know about the BattleBots anime? You watched it with me, right?
Yeah, we did watch a few episodes of that.
We never finished
Where you're talking about the one where they're in college and
Yeah.
it's like, and he builds like a drone and stuff. Yeah.
That seemed pretty
That sounds
cool.
pretty cool.
And it also seemed
Really?
like it got really bad reviews, but I like the
feel if you-
episodes I watched.
If you weren't into BattleBots, it was probably kind of lame. Like,
Yeah.
But if you were into BattleBots, then you were probably like, oh, neat, anime.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, celebrity animes, we were...
Elon Musk was talking about a mech. I'm not exactly sure what's going on with his mecha stuff, but I just know that he really likes anime. And
If there's anyone who could build a mech, it would be
it would
him.
be Elon Musk, yeah.
Yeah.
He could build a transformer too. Be like one of his Teslas.
Dude, I think he's got his own Iron Man suit already made.
Probably.
I bet.
Like half...
If anyone
is it
was gonna
made
be
or is it
real
like
life
halfway
anime.
built and he's like in his basement, like... And that's his secret project.
No, he's already got it made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he whipped it up in one afternoon when he smoked a joint after Joe Rogan's podcast.
It's like, brah.
One of my
I figured it out.
One of my favorite parts of that podcast was like Joe lit up a J and Elon was like,
Is that marijuana?
it's like, yeah, you want some? He's like,
Yeah, Joe Rogan's like, you probably can't do that because you've got like investors. I was like, nah, fuck that.
yeah. And then he's like, yeah, I just had like 10 people text me why I'm smoking weed right now. Like, oh, I love Elon. He's
That's the problem with him becoming president is that he has that clip out there now, but like I'd still vote for him, like in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I would vote for
Obama
him.
did cocaine. He did a little blow.
That was George Bush.
They all did
That
cocaine.
was, well, yeah, they're presidents, but
Yeah. Trump's doing cocaine right now.
Yeah,
every day.
on top of his amphetamines and all the other shit he's taking.
Oh,
His
yeah, that-
McDonald's.
yeah.
Big Macs.
Where
Keep
is
him alive.
my Big Mac shake?
Alright.
Let's
God, what is
yeah,
this
I
podcast
watched
called?
We watched a new show.
Yeah. All right. I'm good. with
Escaping
spoilers.
Neverland.
Escaping
Promise
That's-
Neverland.
I kept fucking thinking that it was Escaping Neverland.
I still never watched that.
Or like
documentary.
something like that.
Escaping Neverland Ranch.
Okay.
That's Michael Jackson's house.
Yeah.
All right. So what was the show we watched?
Promise Neverland.
All right, and we don't know the Japanese name of it, right?
I can look it up.
Nah, let's just roll with it.
Yakusoku
Fantastic.
no Neverando.
Neverando sounds like,
They're just saying Neverland with a Japanese accent.
yeah. I think I've seen that same thing before where it goes Yakusoku no Neverland because they're like, we don't really have a word for that.
Yeah.
So that could be right. It could be wrong.
Yeah, this
I
one
could-
we didn't
I
research,
could
so
be lying again, but anyway.
But we did watch
I'm
it.
bitter.
We
No,
did
yeah,
watch
it was a brand new show to us.
The
all,
first
and
3
we all
episodes.
watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
watched the first 3 episodes. There are 12 out right now.
Because apparently that's how many you want to watch when you give a show a chance for the first time.
Yeah.
3
You
just
just
sounded
wanna
like a
dip-
good number,
dip your dick in.
honestly.
Yeah.
Dip your dick in a little bit.
Well, I feel
Just
like
get a little wet.
I feel like if you just watch one episode and you like hop right into the React podcast, then like there's not enough substance to go from there. You kind of need like a few, like 1 or 2 more episodes to like feel the show out. Also because I think I've mentioned this before, sometimes the match that gets lit for like you wanting to watch this anime, it might not happen till a little bit down the line.
Oh, definitely.
Like one
Like
of my
Boku no
favorite.
Hero.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
took
like
3 for
episode
me.
like 4. Yeah, probably like 3 or
For
4.
me, it was 3.
And One Piece, as Tyler has said a few times, it was like episode 40 when like it really,
Something like that.
where like
Well, One Piece
40
is
episodes.
just...
One Piece is a completely different beast.
Yeah.
Like,
Well-
that's the infinitely
well at
expanding
that
universe.
point there's like enough world building where you're like, if you're not in, you're in at that point.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. One Piece is unique in that the filler is excellent at world building. But
yeah,
regardless, Promise Neverland was a show that premiered in February of this year. The manga began sometime in 2018. I'm not exactly when, but I know this is a fresh brand new show.
Wait, the manga was made in 2018?
I believe so.
That's wild.
By the way, this is when we're going to start talking about this show. So if you don't want to hear any of possible spoilers, I would suggest you pause the video or click away or whatever you want to do, because we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing that doesn't have any spoilers. That theme song kicks ass.
It does.
Dude,
That
I
sax
included
solo-
that.
that sax solo comes
Yeah.
in, I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, this is one of the best theme songs I've heard yet.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the outro? I like the outro too.
Yeah.
It was definitely.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was. I don't think it was like as.
It wasn't as memorable.
Didn't
pumping
make
and
as much of an
thumping as
impact,
the
yeah.
intro,
Yeah.
but
I don't
liked
remember
it.
what the outro sounds like. I just remember the intro.
I don't remember either of them. I just remember liking the intro.
The first after the first episode, we instinctively clicked away to get to the next episode right away, and so that's when we were like, "Wait, we gotta listen to the outro," and it was all right.
So we should probably say that this is a show that is streaming both on Hulu and Crunchyroll, and
The
actually, you can watch it on Crunchyroll without a subscription. It's just there's gonna be shit tons of ads.
Yeah, hashtag none of this is an ad for anything.
No,
Same thing for
just,
Hulu.
Just want to make sure that if someone wants to stream this legally, that they have those tools. So.
Yeah. We watched it on Hulu. Did you watch it on Crunchyroll or Hulu?
I watched it on Crunchyroll.
Okay, so we watched it on.
Alright, so we've gotten so used, well, at least I personally have gotten so used to not having really commercials anywhere, or being able to skip them because of YouTube, or just watching things on Netflix. I kind of enjoyed little commercial breaks when we were watching it.
Yeah.
They were timed really well
Yeah.
in that first episode.
Well, because they were just long enough for us to talk about what just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a group that actually makes sense.
Since we were
Yeah.
watching the show to discuss it on the podcast, it was a nice little break. But I could see, like, if I was like home alone just trying to watch some anime, I'd be like,
Like
what
I
the
was,
fuck? Like,
since I couldn't make the meeting.
Yeah.
But we should jump into what it's about.
so let me give a brief setup of what's happening. So it opens up and it's like a big field, singular building, looks kind of like a church. As it develops into it, you see a bunch of kids wake up, and right away you're like, this is an orphanage, because they're like, it's like 15 kids all in one room. They've all got the same pajamas on, so you're like, okay, this is some kind of orphanage or something like that.
Yeah.
And so as the episode progresses, they start cooking, cleaning, getting each other ready. The older kids are taking care of the younger kids. I believe they have breakfast or lunch or whatever. And then it immediately jumps into this thing where they're all of a sudden they're like, okay, it's time to sit down and take your daily test or whatever. And so they sit on they look like architectural drawing boards almost.
Yeah, their answers, they were like writing in barcodes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
they were
It was
just
a little
scanning
weird.
them.
Yeah, that was very strange.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like it would show a 3-dimensional shape or a 2-dimensional, but like laid out to become a 3-dimensional shape.
It was a wire frame.
Yeah, it was like a wireframe of some kind of shape, and then their answering would be them scanning a barcode or printing out a barcode.
Yeah.
It
weird.
definitely wasn't like a paper. It wasn't the ISATs. It wasn't a paper and pencil
Yeah.
test that children should be taking. And so eventually we figure out that there's 3 kids who are like the smart kids.
Yeah, they're the special ones.
And they're pretty much the protagonists of
Yeah.
the show.
They call
Yeah,
them
they
the
got-
perfect scorers
Right.
in the show.
I don't know what the benchmark for the other kids is, if they like score like 50% or 60%, or
Well, there was
these
one
kids are like
kid
perfect
that
every time.
mentioned, like, oh, I think I got almost half of them right, and was like really proud of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
So
he got
there's-
all of them. That was the kid who
No,
like,
it
you
wasn't.
got
No, that
perfect
wasn't the
score.
kid.
That was,
okay.
that was
No.
a different kid.
Yeah.
But we should also go back to, like, at the very beginning, it starts on the kids that they were later on revealed to be these perfect scorers or whatever.
Yeah, they're the
They're-
protagonists.
They're at the gate that surrounds the field
Okay, so
that they
yeah,
live in, and they're talking about how they're not allowed to go past the gate.
it kind of has a little bit of a feel like M. Night Shyamalan's The Village, is how I felt right away. Because like it very quickly was just like,
Yeah, the orphanage does seem very culty,
the orphanage.
Yeah.
and they got tattooed.
Yeah,
numbers.
they've got like a Holocaust tattoo on the side of their neck, and
numbers.
again they're all in the same uniforms. Like every single day they wear all white.
Yeah.
And so then when you add in the whole, you cannot approach this fence, you cannot go past this gate or something really bad will happen,
Yeah, something's really creepy right off the
then
bat.
immediately is like, okay, let's go. This is this culty yet?
Yeah.
And then
Oh, it gets cold.
the three characters that are introduced as the main characters, there's Emma, who's who they introduce as being like really physically, like she excels in all
Yeah, I
like
thought she was a
physical
guy the entire
tasks.
time.
What'd you say?
I thought she was a guy for like the first 2 episodes.
I did
What?
too. And then
Yeah.
eventually, at one point, they had a shot where it's like her in a skirt, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Is that dude wearing the skirt?" And then they're
Her name is Emma.
Yeah, I missed that one.
You heard that very quickly.
but she has a dick.
Shut the fuck up.
Going
And
back
then-
to traps.
And then there's Norman, who is like a really intelligent kid.
Yeah, he's the
who
genius.
kind of keeps his cool most of the time.
Mhm.
And then there's Ray, who I wrote in my notes, he's kind of the downer of the group.
Yeah.
But he's clearly the most perceptive.
Yeah.
Like he picks up on things.
At
like,
some point,
crazy.
they're like, "We should probably involve Ray in this plan." He's like, "I'm already here. I'm in the bushes. I knew you were acting weird."
Yeah.
And like, so
Yeah.
he,
So he's
like
on
the
it.
con man, intuitive one. At one point, they say that he's quick to come up with ideas, but he's just as quick to abandon them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's
He's kind of like, his perspective is sort of realism almost to a
Yeah.
fault.
he's the edgy,
Yeah.
depressed teen.
Like,
Exactly.
he
He's got the
kind of-
hair for it and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Except he's 11, so he's not a teen.
Exactly.
And so if you pull out like an idea like maybe this will work, he's very quick to be like, "That's a stupid fucking idea. That's never gonna gain traction. That's a dumb idea."
Actually,
Yeah.
there are no teenagers.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah.
They
It
get
ends
shipped
at
off before
12.
they're 12.
Yeah.
Yep.
12.
So that is
Or
another
whatever.
main thing of this show. People are routinely shipped out, and the oldest people there, I believe, were 11, and it was the three of them, weren't they?
Yeah.
So-
And then so
Originally, I was thinking of like this kind of like little lamplight from like Fallout 3, but
No, because they have
There's-
a mother.
yeah, they have a
Yeah.
caretaker who is dressed up in a maid outfit, and they
Yeah.
just refer to her as Mom.
yeah.
And she's
so,
the singular adult in the little world they live in.
Yeah.
So yeah, right away, you know, something is weird about this setup. And then
It,
should we just get right into the...
it felt
Yeah, we should just
Oh,
go
yeah.
to the
Okay,
spoiler
so
for
one of
the end
the
of the
little
episode.
girls gets picked to be shipped. And
she's like, "Oh, I'm a little slower than the rest, but I
Yeah.
hope to be back."
Yeah, and
then
I
they
sure
ship
hope
her
I
out.
come back. And so she's got this
She-
teddy bear
yeah,
with
she
her.
forgets a teddy bear. The two, Emma and Norman.
Emma
right?
and Norman, yeah.
They're
So
like, oh, we gotta go bring it to her. I don't think they're gone yet. So they go to that castle.
Yeah,
place.
they start heading towards the gate that they're not allowed to
Yeah.
go towards, and after they're gone, she notices that the two, Emma and Norman, notice that the teddy bear is left behind. So they're like, "Oh, we can still catch her if we run quick enough." And so it's night now, and so they get to the gate,
Which is
and
open.
the gate's never been opened before that they've seen, and they're looking inside, and they're like, "Let's get in trouble later together." Because it would be a good deed for us to go check this out, essentially. They're kids, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, let's just go do it.
Let's
Fuck
just
it.
go in.
And so,
Yeah, and then they see something in the back of a truck.
yeah, so this is something that we'll just talk about it.
This is
So-
where the
This is the
spoilers
first
start.
episode.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we
This
already
is what
let
sets up
them know.
the
spoiler,
whole
but so
show.
they're in like this damp corridor with like drips coming from everywhere, and they can't find him. There's no obvious doors or hallways of where they could have gone, and so they're like, oh, if we just leave in the back of this truck, then they'll find it. And so they get ready
I don't
to.
think that was kind of the deal. I think she just kind of looked in the back
Yeah.
of the truck.
Yeah.
They were saying
Yeah, they
maybe
were
if we
fine.
leave it, I think they were trying to say like if we leave it on the bumper of the truck, then they'll figure it out that the teddy
Yeah.
bear's here. And
Either
so,
way.
and it's a military truck that's got like a drape across the back, and so they take a little peek, and immediately they're flabbergasted because what did they find?
That girl's dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Connie's
little
dead.
little
Connie's
Connie.
murdered, and I've seen
With a flower. Like,
yeah, she had like a
Sticking
like
to
a
her.
bouquet of roses stabbed into her chest.
I think it was just one big rose.
It was just one rose.
straight through.
So,
Yeah.
And her eyes were like all big.
Yeah, her eyes were.
Oh my
This
God.
kid was dead, and now so I'll preface this by saying that I've seen a lot of dead kids,
yeah, that one was kind of...
in anime, but
Pretty fucked.
this one was actually tasteful, and I'm going to say that.
I distinctly remember us watching it, And like that was immediately when it hit to a commercial break, and Billy right away was like, "I'm in."
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah,
because
this is a good show."
I just
man.
love dark animes like that. But like I've seen some animes where like there's like a girl with like her head cut off or something like this. This is like a shocker, scary moment, but it's not like if you're afraid of like massive gore or something like that, then there is some blood in the truck, but it's not like a blood fest. It's not
and there's a plot
not a
reason
blood
for
orgy.
that as well. Like they're not going to cut off the head because the demons come back. And
by the
kids,
way,
like,
there's
freak them.
demons, so as
Oh,
soon
yeah,
as
there's these
they
big demons.
so let's go into this first. So
they hide under the truck.
immediately
'cause people
they
come
start
out.
hearing people coming,
Yeah.
and it's like tentacled monsters with
No,
these,
they got claws or something. Oh, well,
Yeah.
their head looks like a weird little...
Like a
I
It's
don't
like
even know what it is.
their eyes are like vertical from each other, and they're looking around. It's like some weird.
they
like,
look like an eldritch god. Like they look like there's something straight out of like H.P. Lovecraft's
Yeah.
fucking universe.
Yeah.
And they're wearing robes, like cultist robes almost, and
Yeah.
like the kind of thing that like a priest would wear. And so it was a monster moment where all of a sudden these monsters were coming, and they're talking that they can smell blood and they can't wait because human flesh is just the best, and it's best off of a child.
Yeah.
And so pretty quickly it seemed they make the revelation that they're here to fucking eat us. And these kids are a little bit older, so before the end of the first episode they have the revelation that
They're on a farm.
they're
Yeah, on a
not
farm,
on an
yeah.
orphanage, they're not testing for anything, they're on a human cattle farm.
Yeah.
Because these demons need to eat and they need to sacrifice
Yeah.
for something. Because it at some point cuts to this conference table of demons, and they're talking about we must save these like precious humans
It
for
seems
him.
like they're getting ready for
Right.
like a banquet or
A
like a
big
major
feast.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some of the kid that got sent away that they found dead is like grade A beef or whatever, but like the three main protagonists, they're like a wagyu, like they're like the top most succulent human meat or whatever that you can get. And so they find out that they're being saved for like, well, they don't know yet, but we the viewer find out that there are different cuts of human, essentially, like different grades,
And it's
and
about like
the
how
three
smart
main
they are, right?
protagonists
Yeah.
apparently, and
The
like
tests.
how aged they are. And so
They deduce that the brain is the most important part, because they figure out the youngest that people get shipped off is 6. The oldest is 12. There's no one else in like before or after that. So
originally I thought the reason there must be no older kids was because there's a thing that comes up in American meat a lot where testosterone puts an off flavor in beef, and so that's why like any cattle or anything like that, it's all they chop the balls off. I forget what the word is, but
Castrated.
they're all castrated
Interesting.
because testosterone essentially leaves like a flavoring that the American palate is not used to. So I was thinking like, oh, maybe they're trying to get them like before puberty, and so like at that point an animal that is bigger but hasn't had the hormones released yet would be the highest quality, because they'd still be like succulent and tender, but they'd be bigger than like if you just had like a baby. You're like, food. So that's what I was thinking at first, but then it did seem to be something about their specific strengths and their smarts and all that. So
yeah, because they say at some point the only time we know someone gets a perfect score in this is if mom announces it. So I think what they're trying to do with the farm is that they keep the kids who score the most. Like, because Connie goes off, she's like, I wasn't the strongest, I wasn't the smartest, but I promised to write you. That's another thing that she says, I promise I'm going to write. And the kids are like, we don't get letters from the other orphans, and we don't know what's going on. So like there's that weird disconnect there. But the kids who like score perfectly consistently, I think, are kept for longer, or at least have higher scores.
there's also when the demons are, by the way, they while they're hiding under the truck, they notice that Mom, the caretaker of the orphanage farm, is
she's
with
the
the
shepherd.
demons, and she's what
in
we
cahoots.
eventually calling her was Shepherd, and she's still in like a human form. She didn't turn into a demon or anything, but she was obviously with the monsters, and she was delivering the package.
Yeah.
To
and at the end of the first episode, like the way that it ends is the kids
run.
They
book it.
They do run, yeah. But they leave the doll behind that they were trying to deliver to Connie.
Yeah, so I know.
And so mom is like, yo, there were some fucking kids here.
Yes, because the mom obviously was like, we don't fucking need the Beanie Baby, leave it behind. So when she notices the doll was there, she's like, fucking someone's out of bed right now. And we know that she is aware of the fact that somebody knows.
The end of the first episode is like Emma and Norman talking like, how the fuck are we going to get out of here?
And they're freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, and there's like a slight glimmer of hope, and it's like a hard cut to mom. She's like staring at the
like,
big
the
bear.
Fuck is this?
She's like, I'm gonna have to fuck someone up right now.
Yeah.
And then, so they're trying to hatch an escape plan.
So this is like moving into the second episode for the most part.
And
which the second and third episode are within the same arc, so we probably won't be able to keep it straight like when what happened where. But essentially, the arc we're in right now is they're trying to plan an escape of some form.
Yeah, which is causing me to have to suspend my disbelief because there's two things that are introduced that. Well, one big thing that's introduced where it's like, all right, how the hell have they not been found out yet? Like, the mom knows pretty much that it's them. What's keeping her from picking on? She has a tracker.
We keep getting these little hints that she knows she's pretty sure it's one of the other kids. And like at one point
she has a stare down with
they're
Emma,
walking into the hallway and they're
intense.
like, they turn the corner and all of a sudden they're like eye to eye with each other, and she's like grilling them about like, hey, were you in bed last night? And,
creepy as shit.
And so there's like a scene where a very traumatized 11-year-old is like, yeah, everything's great, and she's trying to like keep it together for the
She sells it, but afterwards you see her break down.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh shit,
she's like shaking and on the ground afterwards because she's like, fuck.
So like quick thing about that, what you were saying, Dan. Maybe she doesn't want to blow the lid off yet, because if she does, if those kids just like get up and disappear, maybe the other kids would be like, what happened to Emma and Norman and Ray? Like, who knows how much time the kids have, and who knows how much time mom has before the beans get spilled, you know? The
mom does seem like she's smart, and then there's another caretaker that gets introduced to help out, and
so they introduce like sister
something,
and she knows that like mom's famous, she's highly recognized.
Yeah, there was a point where the demons are convening, and they say that like typically most of the farms put out low quality meat, and this is like a high end farm that's putting out like consistently better and better meat, and so there's like a level of popularity or like hierarchy or some royalty or something where like this is like the grade A farm cattle essentially.
This place has fucking standards.
Yeah, so
grass-fed kids.
But so what happens next in the second episode is they're like, all right, let's book it. And so there's the gate up front, and there's a fence in the back, and the fence is like 2 or 3 feet high, so they hop it immediately. And so they're running through the woods, and maybe like, I don't know, 200 yards away from the fence, there's just a wall, like a solid cliff that goes up about 25 feet or so,
like a cement.
And it's very imposing, and it's just a sheer cliff. Like, it's not like bricks where you could maybe climb up it. It is like
it's a wall.
Yeah, it's a wall. It is Trump's wall keeping them out.
I was just about to say, our president would be proud of that wall.
And so it looks circular. It probably surrounds the whole farm, but
2 or 3 meters thick,
it's their first obstacle in escaping. At this point they decide,
well, should we keep going, like doing a play-by-play, or should we discuss other topics about it?
I want to do,
because at this point it's just like
just watch the show. It's
I
awesome.
want to say a few other things. At this point, when they get to the wall, they're like, we should tell Ray about this, who is the smart kid,
and he pops up,
and Ray just walks out of the bush. He's like, yeah, you guys were acting super weird, so I've been watching you guys. And they're like, we're acting super weird because there's fucking demons, apparently. and they're trying to eat us.
And he just accepts this shit immediately.
He's like, that sounds right. The one piece of input he has is that there is
Let's leave now.
Screw
the other kids.
That, and he also says that if there are farms for humans, the reason they probably haven't been discovered and saved yet is probably because outside of the wall, it's probably a demon society.
Yeah.
So we don't know where that goes, but that's some of the possible foreshadowing or the possible theory that Ray has. The only other thing I'll say is that while Ray is like, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here, Emma is saying, no,
we gotta save everybody.
we need to get everyone out of here. That's the only way.
Yeah, which that to me is indicative of like there's gonna be a lot of kids dying in this show.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because if they want to get everyone out of there, it's a farm full of children. Some of them are only 6 years old. Some of them
Some are
like,
even younger.
Yeah,
There's
they're
babies.
Yeah. So if they want to smuggle out like 15 babies, that's going to be really hard, and
It ain't gonna work.
kids
No,
are
it's not going to
uncoordinated, and
work.
immediately Ray's like, that's a dumb idea, we're all gonna die.
I'm with Ray.
Yeah.
I kind of am too.
Yeah.
It's like, if there's
Like,
any
you guys
hope in success, you guys gotta get out of there first, and then maybe you can come back.
But then Norman and Ray are having a conversation, and Norman's like, dude, we gotta fucking listen to her. And Ray's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. You're the smart one. Why are you doing this shit?
Yeah.
And he's like, I like Emma. We gotta go with what Emma says. If we're gonna die,
I want to die with Emma.
I think Norman's gonna die. Like,
is that your prediction?
that's my prediction. Norman's gonna die.
I think-
He's gonna sacrifice himself for Emma for whatever reason. Like,
I want to see what the demon cities are like, or what
Me
it's
too.
like on the outside.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's
I wanna-
on the other side of the wall.
I'm excited for the lore of this show
Yeah.
to start
There's-
developing.
This is a good one.
there's like a really cool
really
like
excited about it.
there was kind of like a not a throwaway line, but a really short like line that established sort of a hierarchy when mom gets like is talking to someone like on a headset or whatever. She goes, grandma, and it's just like, your
Yeah, that
farm
was
is the
like-
best
oh, yeah.
farm, like you better not fuck anything up.
Yeah.
Like, and so there's a clear hierarchy now. So like grandma dictates to the moms, and even like there's levels below moms, because like Sister Normie or whatever the fuck her name is.
And when the second
creepy looking
caretaker
too.
is she's spooky. When the second caretaker is introduced, they talk about how like, oh, we obviously know that there's a problem because we found the teddy bear, so somebody knows what's going on, probably two of them.
Yeah.
There is a moment where they say like, this was a genuine major fuck up that could throw a wrench in everything, but the mom is, since she's like so esteemed in what she does within the demon society, she's like, we're going to handle this internally, and we're going to not report it to what would be grandma. And also the only other thing is that the sister, the new one, is like,
She wants to overthrow.
she's like,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
fucking
fucking
use
yeah.
she's like, I'm gonna fucking overthrow mom and become the new mom.
Yeah.
There's another line that Sister said, that when she was chasing Emma and the kids when they were playing their game of tag, I think there's in episode 3. She said, if you were there at the harvest, she said at the harvest, which is like really creepy. So that is one she definitely knows.
Oh yeah, she definitely knows.
Yeah,
She's
and for
revealing
two, the
to Emma the whole
yeah,
thing.
exactly. And her follow-up line was, "I'm on your side," which was like,
Yeah,
I don't know if she was just trying to mess
she's
with her,
mind
getting in her
fucking
head.
these kids real
Yeah,
hard.
yeah. Like, I don't know if she was just like mind fucking them, like getting in her head,
Oh,
or if she
definitely.
was actually like trying to set up this plot, this scheme against mom.
I think she was trying to say, to like throw it out there to like shock the kid into showing a response.
Right.
Because a normal
okay.
kid would have been like, I don't know what you're talking about, but like if you'd just seen like, you know, a friend die and all of a sudden there's demons in the world that you never knew about until now, and then someone's like, you were there, right? You saw the shit go down, then they'd be like, oh. So
Yeah, 'cause
I
her
think she was waiting
11-year-old
for
kid,
a startle response of some kind.
which Emma did give a response like that.
Yeah, briefly, but then she like pulled it back and was able to be like, nope. And like,
How many episodes are out right now?
12.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's over.
or
They're-
they're on
they're-
a mid-season break or something.
They're
like
doing
that.
a season 2, won't be released till 2020.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Oh, okay.
That's what the Wikipedia says.
So
So
the first
I could
season
be
is
wrong.
done. It's out there.
Yeah.
First, like,
This is the first season.
I don't know.
Maybe this is the first season. There might be more.
Was this a winter 2019 anime? It just concluded recently,
Winter
right?
2019 would be the end of 2019.
Or very early.
Or the beginning of
January.
2019.
Yeah, it
'cause
came in January. When did
January.
that be?
I
It
don't think that's how this-
premiered February 2019.
January.
Oh, it did. Oh, January.
Thanks, Tyler.
I was
Thanks,
wrong.
Get fucked.
Yeah, I don't know where. 3 episodes in, it seems like they're already fucked. I don't know where they're gonna go
So
Yeah.
in this. Like,
Yeah.
do you think we're gonna see more of the world around it in this season, or do you think this season's just gonna be contained, and then like one of the big reveals at the season finale will be like the bigger
right
world?
now, I
Damn it,
think
it
they're
was
in
20
like
Winter
a
2019.
like an Animal Farm spot where like it's going to get worse and worse and worse right now until they're able to escape at some point. And I think they would have an escape this season, mainly because let me just check real quick. I believe the show currently has an 8 something on my anime list rating wise.
874.
8.74. So I think that they're not leaving too big of a cliffhanger. I think stuff is actually progressing in the show and people are liking it.
Yeah.
So I think they are going to escape this season. We haven't seen it yet, but
Yeah, I talked to a friend of mine that had seen it, and she was like, "There is like no dull point in this show. It's all good."
Nice. Do you think there's gonna be a multiple escape attempts, or is it just gonna be this game of cat and mouse?
well, right now they're trying to train all of they go with Emma's plan to get everyone out. So what they're doing is they're playing games of like really aggressive tag where they're like, you need to be able to hop a fucking creek if we need to because we're going to be running from shit. So they're trying to like
Train all the little kids.
yeah, without having them realize that like we're training you to escape and do like evasive maneuvers and like not lose your footing and stuff. So they're playing like really aggressive tag.
Tracks.
Oh yeah, they start teaching them how to hide their tracks and put false
Fake
tracks
ones.
down on like a branching path so that they go like
Yeah,
to
they're smart ass kids.
evade essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I was that smart.
Same.
I'm 25 years old.
Well, once you
Watching this.
I was like, I don't want to
once you find out you're a cog in the murder machine, then you probably get those
You gotta-
creative juices flowing.
Yeah,
pretty
you gotta get that
quickly.
shit into gear,
Yeah,
man.
survival instinct kicks in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
These things you never had to think of before, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I guess we could use tablecloth as rope.
yeah.
And like that's kind of the only art development they had for right now.
I
Yeah.
don't know how they're gonna do that because they said the wall is like 3 meters thick, and like, how are they going to try and like
to
get
the
a
other
hook
side,
in?
and then they'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
I think they need some kind of grappling hook or something,
Yeah.
which we haven't seen yet. But
I'm trying to think of the resources they have. Is they have bed sheets. I mean, if they try and take apart their bedposts or something, like
you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
or like, well,
Honestly-
one of them works in the kitchen, so they have
yeah.
access to knives
Knives,
and possible other stuff that they could use as like a hook, like if they needed to. But they've got access to like stuff that the average 10-year-old might not have. Like I can imagine Ray coming back like, this is a butcher knife. I took it.
Yeah.
And them being like, okay, at least
Like,
we have a
what the
butcher
fuck
knife.
are we gonna do with
So-
this?
Yeah. The other thing is, I think in the 3rd episode they reveal that one of the kids is like a mole.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. The chick with the round glasses.
We're
whatever.
pretty sure
assumed
we
that the
pretty
chick
sure
with the
we
round
know who it
glasses.
is. It
Like,
could be someone else.
They hinted at it, and I'm assuming that's what it is, but
Because there was
for
one
sure.
other child that was always like watching them, and we could never see her eyes because of the way they drew her glasses. But like she's watching them, and she's like keeping close eyes on them, and so
She's gotten more screen time than the other minor characters in this show.
yeah,
so
for sure.
It's yeah. It seems like it's pointing in that direction.
Where we are, it's definitely hinting that she might be a mole, but
Yeah.
we have no idea.
Right.
So
All right.
So now there's like division in the ranks even more.
This
and
show's
it's
got me more hooked right now than Death Note.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this.
This is really good.
Well, it's stuff like this that reinforces
makes
my.
you fail your tests when you can't stop clicking. But
Well, yeah, it, like makes me appreciate anime,
Enemy.
anime,
Kawaii.
even more because you don't see these kind of story arcs in Western storytelling.
Anime
Something
is
like this.
The enemy.
Dark.
No, yeah, like again,
But
anime is
really good.
very different than your average Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
So
this would never come out in
no,
like an
yeah.
American
no,
TV
and that,
show or
that
movie.
goes
We should-
even in live action TV, like something sort of like this, something this dark. Like I mean,
I mean, there's the Hunger Games, but that's
Yeah.
I mean, they also cushion that pretty much in the movies. The books were more brutal.
Brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the movies, it's like
Well,
PG-13.
they already started it. Honestly, I'm excited to see more dead kids. Like, because
Jesus.
well, I love the dark factor, so like I can't wait to see what they do with it. Like if they go real horror, like it's hard to find a good horror anime, which like there's a few that I know of, and I like keep close tabs on ones I hear of coming out because that's what I live for.
Yeah,
so I'm excited to see where this one goes.
I've been looking for a horror anime too. Like Paranoia Agent is kind of a horror anime.
It's good at making you paranoid, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's the Junji Ito collection, but that I have not watched that, but I've heard that anime is garbage. If you want like horror manga, read the Junji Ito manga. That shit is fucking scary.
I don't know how to read.
Oh shit.
Do we have any more closing thoughts on
Yeah, before we wrap it up.
show?
Watch it.
Yeah, A+.
So far, it's got my juices flowing.
Doing its job.
We'll probably all be finished with it by the next
Yeah,
Yeah,
episode.
maybe we'll
I'm
do a
gonna
final
watch-
review.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna watch the shit out of the show.
Yeah, maybe in like two episodes or so, we'll have like a closing thoughts or
for
like
sure.
a season recap on it.
For sure.
Yeah, let's promise we'll do it and then never do it.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
The promise,
Sounds on brand for us.
we'll probably
the
do
promise never do.
Which by
That was so stupid.
Fuck you. All right.
I gotta piss.
So that's it for a final analyzation of our segment. So do we want to do another 10-second plug?
I think we should do a 10-second plug. I do like that outro.
Yeah.
So if anyone's got one they can think of,
the show
Dan, do Death Note because that's all you got.
and Death Note. Yeah, I don't know. Just
Dan, go. 10
fucking
seconds.
Watch anime. Death Note. It's a
fuck.
show about a guy who gets a book that can kill people by writing names in it. And then he befriends a death god. Well, he doesn't befriend, but it's
10
fun.
seconds. Dan.
all right, Josh,
That's
your
done.
turn.
Oh fuck. This is Gurren Laggin. They throw galaxies.
All right.
There we go.
I'll go next. Amagi Brilliant Park. It's about a kid who's very narcissistic and very smart, and some weird fucking otherworldly beings come, and they're like, "Hey, you're the only hope to save our
Yeah, we need you as a
Weird.
financial advisor.
our weird theme park." It's really good.
Fuck, I look good in everything. My show is commonly referred to as Shimonetta. It's essentially a show where dirty words are totally illegal, and so is all sexual content. And there's an underground group of people, guerrilla warfare style, who are trying to bring back sexuality to a totally plain vanilla world.
Is it a nudist colony?
No, but it's a raunchy anime. This is one you don't want to watch with in the living room, probably.
Or with newbies.
It's really funny though. It's the funnier side of ecchi.
No, yeah, it's definitely got the.
I now know what that means.
Hey, you're now garbage. All right.
Yep, sweet.
So
And
this
I'm
has
off.
been.
Thank you for listening or watching or whatever. Check out our Facebook page, Instagram. Email us at weebin@gmail.com.
Check out our YouTube.
Yeah. Apparently, we're just too hot for iTunes right now, but that's coming. We promise.
Probably.
Maybe someday.
All right.
Yeah, listen to us on Spotify or our website right now.
All right. So I'm Billy.
I'm Patrick,
Josh.
I'm Dan.
and thank you for listening.
We be weeping.
Thank you for being degenerates.
Boy.